Welcome to workout number 18 of our monthly movement challenge. Today's workout is our pelvic opening focus workout, and today's is going to be focused on the outlet or the bottom of the pelvis. The outlet of the pelvis is open more with internal rotation of the femurs or a knees in, ankles out position. The ways that we can achieve internal rotation are going to involve the hamstrings, the inner thighs, and then we can use the lats to help influence the sacral position. In addition, pushing is a lot of pulling type movement, so having strong lats can be super beneficial as we prepare to open the pelvic outlet and prepare to push. For today's workout, we have the staggered stance Romanian deadlift, which is going to be focusing on internal rotation on one side, emphasizing the hamstring strengthening, and then also lat strengthening with the row portion. We're going to do a single arm row, which is going to be focused on lat strengthening, and then we'll finish up with the poor man's leg curl, which is going to be focusing on hamstring strengthening, each on one side. For the staggered stance Romanian deadlift, you're going to attach a band anywhere from hip to chest level, preferably closer to the hip level. You're going to put weight into one leg, and then the opposite hand is going to be holding onto the band. So this is going to be a posterior oblique sling exercise from the lat to that opposite glute. With the Romanian deadlift, I'm going to think push my hips to the wall behind me to find a hinge movement as opposed to the hips to the floor. So there's a flashlight on my butt, it's shining the wall behind me. I'm going to reach forward with the band, and this is going to prompt my torso to rotate towards my legs. So I'm finding internal rotation here. So this would be my neutral position. This is my closed hip position or my internal rotated position. So I'm going to think my knees still staying stacked over my ankle, keeping weight on the inside of my foot. I'm feeling a stretch in my hamstring and glute. So this is bringing me into internal rotation on one side, which is helping to open my lower mid pelvis and the pelvic outlet. Then I'm going to exhale to extend in the hip to row back. And as I row, I'm thinking row my hand towards the bottom of my rib cage, not to my shoulder. So I'm thinking squeeze elbow into my side, not chicken winging my arm out. And then inhale to reach forward, find that belly to thigh position again, keeping weight in that big toe side. Exhale to come on up. So that's going to be the staggered stance Romanian deadlift. The next movement that we have is going to be the single arm row. So I like to use an elevated surface to help support this. So you can use like your couch, for example, or a workout bench. So I'm going to place one knee onto the bench, and then I'm going to hold the weight in my outside arm. I'm going to exhale to row back, inhale to lower down. And similarly to the banded row, I'm thinking rowed back towards the bottom of my rib cage, not up to my shoulder. So I'm exhaling to row back to the bottom of the rib cage, so elbow into my side. You can see that my arm forms this like 90-degree angle, not less than 90 degree. So I'm looking for that 90-degree angle, hold, and then inhale to lower down. If you need a little bit more support in this movement, or you find that like it's too far down, if you're using an incline bench, you can just incline it a little bit more, and then it elevates your position. You can also put your hand on like a yoga block or something just to elevate the torso a little bit more, and sometimes that makes it a lot more comfortable. The last movement that we have is the poor man's leg curl. So you're gonna put your heel onto an elevated surface from a supine position. So coming onto your back, bringing one heel onto the elevated surface. So I'm going to think drive my heel into the bench as I extend my hips up towards the ceiling, and then inhale to lower the hips down. So exhale, drive the hips up, not the belly, so I don't want to be arching in the back. I'm almost thinking like tuck the butt underneath as I push the hips up, and then inhale to lower down, and then I can switch sides. So exhale, drive the hips up, inhale to lower down. If you want to make it easier, keep the arms down, and you can use the arms to help support you as you come on up. You can bring both heels down to do both heels at the same time as well. If you want to make it harder, lift the hands up towards the ceiling and then push the hips up, so it's only really that leg that's supporting this movement. So for today's pelvic opening workout, we have 3 rounds, 30 seconds per side of the staggered stance Romanian deadlift with banded row, the single arm row, 30 seconds per side, and then we'll finish up with the poor man's leg curl, 30 seconds per side. So starting round number 1 with that staggered stance Romanian deadlift, holding the band in the opposite hand. Inhale to reach forward, big weight in the big toe side, knee stacked over ankle. Exhale, row that band back as you keep weight in that front leg. Inhale to reach forward, find belly to thigh. Exhale to come on up. So at the bottom, we're feeling more of a stretch in that glute and hamstring, keeping that knee stacked over the ankle, so we're not letting the knee come all the way back, so it's staying stacked. Exhale, come on up, pause at the top, and then pause at the bottom to feel the 2 end ranges. And then switch sides. So placing weight into that other foot, band in that opposite hand. And again, front leg is our work leg. So coming to the bottom, reaching forward with that band, belly to thigh, exhale, come on up, inhale to lower down. Really thinking keeping weight in that big toe side of the foot, knees staying stacked over the ankle. At the bottom, feeling that stretch in the hamstring and glute. So if you're not really feeling a stretch, sit at the bottom and then rotate belly to thigh, and you're gonna feel a whole lot more of a stretch happening there. Exhale, row that band back. Inhale, reach forward with that band. Grabbing onto your weight for our single arm row. Again, if you need to elevate it a little bit more with the yoga block or incline bench, feel free. Grab onto your weight and then exhale, row that way back, pause, and then inhale, slower down. Exhale to row, inhale, slower down. And again, rowing back towards the bottom of the ribs so the arm makes a 90-degree angle, and then coming back down. We're not rowing to the shoulder. So exhale to row, inhale back. Switching sides. So coming onto the other side of your elevated surface or just flipping around, grabbing onto your weight, hand is down on the elevated surface. Exhale, row back to the bottom of that rib cage. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to row, inhale to release. So you're almost rowing back at this diagonal angle, not to the shoulder. Moving on to that poor man's leg curl, so come onto your back. Heel is gonna drive into the bench. Arms down for extra support, or arms up to make it a little bit harder. So feeling this all in that lifting leg hamstring. Push the hips to the ceiling, inhale, lower down. So hips are driving up, almost like tucking the butt underneath. Inhale to lower down. If you need some more support, put the arms down on the floor. So exhale, drive those hips up. Inhale, lower down. And then make sure it's the heel that's driving into the top of the bench, not the foot or the bottom of the foot. Switching legs, so put the other heel into the top of your elevated surface. So we're not putting the foot onto the edge of the surface, it's that heel that's driving. Exhale, push those hips up, tuck the butt underneath. Inhale to come back down. Arms down for extra support or reaching up to the ceiling for less support or to make it a little bit harder. So exhale. Moving on to that staggered stance Romanian deadlift into round number 2. So grabbing onto your band, we're gonna reach forward at the bottom, finding that internal rotation, exhale, come on up. So weight in that big toe side, knees staying stacked over the ankle. Keep weight in that front foot. Exhale to row, inhale, come on down. At the bottom, feeling that stretch in that glute and hamstring. If you're not, try to rotate that pelvis towards that front femur a little bit more. So really reach forward, and this is gonna help emphasize that internal rotation too. Switching sides. So place that band into the opposite hand, keeping weight in that front foot, finding the bottom position. So reaching belly to thigh, exhale to come forward, inhale back. So weight in that big toe side of the foot, knees staying stacked over that ankle. Sometimes there's a tendency for that knee to shift outwards, so to kind of continue to move with that external rotation. But we really want to find that internally rotated position. Moving on to that single arm row. So grabbing onto your weight. Hand is going to be on your elevated surface. Elevate it with the block as needed, and then exhale, row back, inhale, lower down. Switching sides. So coming to the opposite side now. Putting weight into that hand. Exhale, row that weight back, squeeze elbow to your side, inhale to lower down. Pause at the top and then lower that weight. Moving on to that poor man's leg curl. So coming onto your back, hamstring is going to be the main driver in this movement. So heel is in that elevated surface. Exhale, push those hips up. Inhale to lower down. Almost like tuck the butt underneath as we push the hips towards the ceiling, not the belly to the ceiling. So hips to the ceiling, feel that hamstring really turn on. Inhale to lower down. So arms down provides extra support. Arms to the ceiling makes it much more challenging. So really think drive through that heel, inhale, lower down, drive through the heel, inhale, lower down. And then switching sides, so placing that other foot heel onto the elevated surface, reaching towards the ceiling or arms down on the ground, whichever feels better for you. Think tuck the butt underneath as you drive the hips to the ceiling, inhale to lower down. Moving into our final round, back to our staggered stance, Romanian deadlift. So grabbing onto our band. Inhale to reach forward, exhale, row back. Hinge the hips back, weight in that big toe side, knees staying stacked over that ankle at the bottom. Feel that stretch in that hamstring and glute. Exhale, come on up. Row the band into your side, hold, and then lower down. Switching sides. So placing that band into the other hand, weight into that opposite foot, keeping weight in the big toe side of the foot, knees gonna stay stacked over that ankle. Exhale to row, inhale to lower down. So these unilateral internally rotating movements help to open the lower mid pelvis, which is where baby's gonna finish their rotation before they come underneath the pubic bone while you're pushing. And so it's important that we can find internal rotation to one side to help baby finish their rotation. And this is why we incorporate these types of movements within our prenatal fitness programming, because it's gonna help to prevent those late labor stalls. Coming back to our single arm row. And so the lats are gonna help to influence the sacral position. And we also do a lot of pulling while we're pushing. So reaching the weight to the floor, exhale, row the weight to the bottom of the rib cage, inhale, lower down, exhale, row, inhale down. And so when you're pushing, you're like pulling on a scarf, you're pulling on the bed, on your legs. There's a lot of upper body tension to help kind of release the tension in the lower body and the pelvic floor and the glutes so baby can move out easier. So exhale, row, inhale, lower down. Switching sides. And so the lats can help pull the sacrum out of the way, which can also support opening the bottom of the pelvis even more. So reach into the floor, exhale, row back, elbow to side, inhale to lower down. So having a strong upper body is super beneficial for all of labor, because the more weight and effort we can put in the upper body, the more relaxed the glutes and the pelvic floor can be as we maintain these upright positions, which helps baby push more onto the cervix, which helps to speed up the labor process. Lower the weight to the floor, Final movement, coming onto our back for that poor man's leg curl, driving the hip into the top of your elevated surface. Exhale, drive the hips up. Inhale, lower down. So think tuck the butt underneath, push the hips to the ceiling. Inhale, down. Switching sides, so putting weight into the other heel now. Arms can be down or up to the ceiling, whichever preference feels good for you. And then exhale to drive through that heel to lift the hips up. Inhale to lower down. So this concludes workout number 18, which was our pelvic opening workout, focused on opening the bottom of the pelvis or the pelvic outlet. The pelvic outlet is where baby is going to exit the pelvis while we're pushing. And so being able to open the bottom of the pelvis, particularly with inter-rotation of the femurs, for this knees in, ankles out position, is going to create more space in that bottom of the pelvis to help baby finish their rotation and to be born. If you liked this workout, join our prenatal fitness programs, because we incorporate exercises like this throughout the entire prenatal fitness program to help prepare you for birth. We want you to stay strong throughout your pregnancy. We want you to stay pain-free, and so we incorporate a lot of pelvic stability exercises, and we want to help you prepare for birth by ensuring that you could open the pelvis in each of the pelvic levels in a different way to support your baby's movement through your pelvis. If you like this workout, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. It helps our channel grow so that we can continue to provide free content like this for you.